Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cultural FAQs here with Brazilian Dragon Productions. My name is Felipe, and I am here, as always, with the Q in FAQ, Quandel.
Hi.
Quandel, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day because it's been a hot minute since we've gathered around the podcast. It's just been a busy summer.
Since the last time I saw you, I was at your big shindig, your birthday party.
It was my birthday. Quandel brought me a present that seems very, very powerful. I haven't tried it yet. But
you haven't tried it?
No, I'm scared. So do you want to tell the listeners what you got me?
No, you should tell them. It's your gift.
You were the one who famously said, I'm a little high on the first podcast.
I got you.
Yes.
I got you a blunt. I like a
he
little
got me
pre-roll.
a black mamba.
Yeah.
I'm scared. That one seems
for
intense.
Anybody who does know anything about weed, black mambas are like really strong pre-rolls.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to trying it. But also, I've been trying to do it more recreationally because I've been drinking a lot more in the last week because my friend Lonnie got me a Don Julio, like a fancy little bottle. So that was like my little first birthday present that I was going. I'm saving that one for when I feel like that's a good social event activity because I haven't really done anything since my birthday party besides just celebrate. But yes, your boy is 27.
Yes,
it was my golden birthday. Quandel was one of the most popular guests at the birthday party. He was an answer.
Only because of my name. You were the Felipe I've never seen this many people at an event.
Granted, the majority of them were my coworkers. So
but they still came out for you. I
appreciate that.
It was a lot. I was like, wow.
Quandel was the answer to one of the Felipe themed crossword puzzle questions.
Yes.
And he was very popular. My friend Lindsay mentioned you later, and she was like, "Oh my god, I loved Quandel. I loved telling him the story about Felicia getting hacked."
Oh yeah,
on Big Brother.
Oh my gosh, I sent you the clip of Felicia. Yeah, I'm not following her.
Felicia is content. We will talk about Big Brother. We will. But what else have you been doing this summer? Just give the listeners an update.
Yes.
You're still just vibing out here. What's the big updates in Quandel's life?
Yeah, still vibing. I'm really into a lot of pop culture lately.
Which is why we're here.
Exactly. I'm really into our new vice president, Steve Martin. It's really nice to see him.
Yeah, that was today. The announcement, right? When you said Steve Martin, it took me a second. I was like, huh? Yeah, because I was thinking the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
But yes, we've had an eventful summer here in America.
Yeah, and also, the reason why I really like him is because he made a state. It's not a national day. I said it was a national day. My boyfriend said it was a state day, a state Beyonce day in Minnesota. So I was like, oh, he's a part of the B. Oh yes. Oh, he's got. I mean, obviously they already have my vote, but yes, we love a Beehive stand. Also, Brat. Listened to that.
It's been a Brat summer. You're a Brat.
Yes, I really love that album. So I remember when that album came out, my boyfriend listened to Brat, and I listened to the Midwest.
Adventures of a Midwest Person. It's not that. It's not Adventures, but it's
something Midwest.
Chaperone
Roan's album. Yeah. So I listened to that album. He listened to that album, and we were both like, "This is such a great album." He's like, "This is such a great album." And so I think we were both really stuck on it, but I actually got a chance to sit down and really listen to her album, and I love it. It's great. It's a great album.
I think there's a couple key single or key songs that I really like from both albums. Listen, you had a hot take before the pre-show that I won't repeat here because you're not here for the haters. But if I can just say, I love Phenomenon as a concept. But for whatever reason, that song doesn't hit me.
Really?
It doesn't hit. I love Red, White, Supernova. I love Hot to Go. And there's another one that I love that is escaping me by name right now. But those are ones. And then for Charlie XCX, I love, what's the one with the knife? I like Apple. I like 360, of course.
360.
But there's, and then I really like the melancholic one that's kind of somber and sad. And of course, Work This Out on the remix.
And I like that 365 is kind of
I love when an artist is able to, is the word interlope? Where the intro and the outro kind of blend together. And if you like Beyonce did this with Cowboy Carter, where the American Requiem, the final notes of the last song of the album like lead in perfectly. So if you were on replay, then it goes right back into the album and it's seamless. I love that touch. And maybe it has been a thing and I'm just a newer music connoisseur, but I love that when an artist can play around with
I think more artists have been doing it.
I think, is it just me or have artists been like more intentional with their music a lot more lately?
I feel like so.
Or am I just like new to like...
I think the thing is it's like either you're popular because your art is really good or you just become kind of like famous like the TikTok or the whatever way or the traditional way that is now. So I think a lot of artists who are like really true to their craft and it shows are really putting their time in. They're setting themselves apart from these people because it's stiff competition, you know?
Oh, 100%. And of course, music always has a message. But maybe when I was growing up listening to the radio and like you'd listen to Purple Rain by Prince, you're like, oh, there's no message to this. It's just a song. But now I'm like listening to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, this is like heartbreaking. Like some of the things that they're talking about, like 16 Carriages is probably going to be my number one song of the year. Just how many times listening, it's like, oh, this, like the message is so powerful. And like, it's just like, maybe it's just because we're older and wiser and we're learning. Like, you know, in poetry class, when you were in English in high school, you're like, oh, they didn't care about what they were actually writing. I was like, oh, no, they did. I was just, I don't think I just registered it. And also, like, listen, maybe sometimes when you're high, it registers a little bit better. Like, I feel like more aware of my surroundings sometimes when you have partaken.
And I think, also living life. Like, not to go back to Beyonce, but just to go back to Beyonce real quick. I was talking to my partner about like not like loving Lemonade, but not fully grasping Lemonade at the time when Lemonade came out for me, because I had not lived. I didn't know what what it really felt like to really like gauge every word that she was saying until like recently, you know, listening to it and everything like that, you know, having a different perspective. So I definitely agree with that.
Music's just hit. Are there any upcoming albums that you're like ready for? Did Normani ever release her album?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, then I'm just listen. Your boy was stuck on a murder trial for a few months or a few weeks. So
I will say, I get it. I've been trying to get people on the Normani train. Honestly, I really like Dopamine. I suggest everybody listen to it. I think it's a great first album.
Normani was great on Dancing with the Stars. But also, just to clarify, I was not involved in the murder trial other than being a juror. We will circle back to that in 90 days because technically we do have a patron and you're not supposed to be paid to talk about this murder trial for 90 days until after the case ends.
Is it juicy? Is it getting...
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
It's probably a lot juicier if you think about it than what actually happened, but within 90 days, what's that, November, I will tell you all what happens if I haven't fled the country.
We're going to be a true crime podcast in November.
Are you into true crime?
I have to find a good one. But you know what's so interesting? Like, I can get into the TikTok ones, but I don't like a long one. They're not as fun or entertaining, I guess.
I'm going to plug Ice Cold Case because my friend Madison McGee is the one who did it. It's autobiographical true crime podcast series about the murder of her father. And I actually almost wore my Just Chillin' friendship bracelet that she made for her season 2 launch party. And I definitely want to like talk to her about my understanding of like court and police after my experience on this trial. But it's really good. I'm not a true crime person, but I do subscribe to Madison's podcast. She is phenomenal. And this is a plug for Ice Cold Case on wherever you get your podcasts. And also, while you're at it, go subscribe to the Brazilian Dragon YouTube. Yes. And also go follow Cultural FAQs, both the individual feed and the Brazilian Dragon production main feed. And tell a friend. But while I have you up here at the top. And also, if you're listening to this and you want to financially support the podcast, because we can't do this alone, you can go to Brazilian Dragon Productions on Patreon. So we'll do plugs up top. But Quandel, I did want to get your take on some of the stuff. You mentioned true crime, actually. Did you watch Trap yet? The M. Night Shyamalan movie about the guy who gets trapped at the concert?
I didn't, but I
won't say anything.
I heard that it was basically a movie just to get his daughter's music career off the ground, which I stand. I love that.
Oh, and his daughter, A, incredible musician, and then B, beautiful.
Yeah, I heard one of the songs is actually pretty good. She's a gorgeous girl.
She's gorgeous. And I was like, okay. But see, I'm realizing when I watch Trap, because I don't like true crime because it stresses me out because it's real. But I like fictional crime stories like in these movie settings. Like these are realistic stories, but the fact that it's fictional is also like a little more comforting. So Trap, I really enjoyed. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. Missing from last year, which is the Screen Life movie with Storm Reed.
I just have a question because M. Night
Shyamalan.
I know his name, but I'm just saying because we're in the industry, so I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. But so you liked the movie? It was like good all around. You liked it?
I had a great time. Like I think I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. Listen, I'm easy to please. If I have a good time, you're gonna get a good review. If I'm bored, I'm also a plot girly. I love a good plot versus like a character work is really good important too. Because like I mean, Challengers is a character study. And you know how I feel about Challengers. But I think like I am not a snob. One of my favorite movies of 2022, and I Will Die on This Hill, was Lyle Lyle Crocodile because it made me feel things. Was the plot, was the story a mess? Was the film very disjointed? Of course. But did I cry? Absolutely. And so it is held in high regard versus another movie that year that I got flamed for not liking was The Northman, which was what's his name? The guy who did The Witcher.
Henry Cavill?
No, not The Witcher. The Witch. The Witch in the Lighthouse. Oh. Who's the guy who directed those? Whatever his name is escaping me. I'm gonna get flamed by the Nolan girlies. But like I'm not like Oppenheimer. I didn't love. Like I wasn't blown, like, pun intended, blown away. But like I just am a good vibes guy. And I mean we watched freaking Big Brother. Of course we're not here for the cinema. But I had a good time at Trap. Like I like going to the theater. I recommend it. I definitely think it's a good movie to watch, especially in a theater. Because I don't know if it was intentionally a comedy, but there were some times that like, and we had a diverse crowd with a lot of people of color, and so they talk back to the movie. My mom,
I knew
classic Latina, they talk at the movie, and that it's a good crowd movie.
Yeah, okay. No, I
and you're an
knew
A-lister.
what it was. I knew what it was like when I saw it, but sometimes when you go
I
into
also
it,
didn't watch the trailer.
Okay.
And I think I was enhanced.
But, that's fine. But I just sometimes with M. Night Shyamalan, he likes to just like really pull the rug right under you. And sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. So
there is like a plot twist, but I've only seen 2 M. Night Shyamalan movies. I've never seen The Sixth Sense, which I do want to watch that one because that's like
good. Yeah.
That's like famous.
Yeah.
I've seen 2. I've seen Trap. And we don't talk about the other one. I've seen The Last Airbender.
You didn't see Signs?
No.
Oh.
I do want to see Split and Glass. I've heard those are good also.
Oh, yeah. I don't
The
think
Last
I've ever
Airbender,
seen
I was
Glass.
so excited for The Last Airbender. Like, I was a day one Avatar The Last Airbender fan. I was like crisscross applesauce on a Monday night when it premiered. And I watched it religiously and also like Saturday morning reruns.
Yes. Appa Yip Yip.
Appa Yip Yip.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Appa? Who's Momo? Between us.
I'm Appa.
Are you sure?
I'm very like tired and
see. I feel maybe it's just maybe I'm just being like looking at the physical resemblance. I
and
feel
you're
like I
way
resemble.
More energetic.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. You're very. You like the Inda couch. That's what my friend Sheldon calls it. All right. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, like some more movies. Okay, so I saw Inside Out recently. So I wanted to know
the first or the second.
The second one, and so I actually am curious how you felt about the second one compared to the first one.
All right, so I watched the first one the night before. I rewatched the first one the night before I went to see the second one. I think, actually, no, my podcast takes are out there already. I did a podcast with Shannon Gus from Rob Has a Podcast already about this. I can answer this question, but I also kind of want to get your takes before I say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so what did you think of the movie?
I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I thought that... No, I liked it. I kind of wish that... It did seem like Anxiety and Joy. It was like their movie. And I kind of wish that it was like...
You got some more of the B Squad?
Yeah. That was my only thing, but I really liked the anxiety taking over, and then the other little emotions playing a part into it. The whole thing about friendship. It was really cool. It seemed more No, I was gonna say it seemed a little more like hokey, but I guess I forgot about Bing Bong for the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Bing Bong.
Yeah, I
It
love
hit
Bing. Pour one out
better.
for Bing Bong.
Like it was like very kiddie, but it was like it made sense for the plot of the movie
for sure. Like I feel like it's just expanding on the first story for sure. That's why I say I think the first one I like more. But it's also like when you go into this first movie, you don't know what it's going to be about. Like, you know, it's about the emotions, but then you don't know it's going to pack the emotional punch. And the second one, you're like, okay, what's going to make me cry? You're kind of looking for like the emotional hook, and it still hits. But I do understand what you're saying, especially with the like new emotions. We really didn't get to know many of them that well. They were more joke characters, which I appreciated, but anxiety was the star.
Yes.
And even like the original characters, I mean, sadness was completely sidelined.
Yeah.
Which, okay, at least she has the first movie. We did get more of the new character or the original core five outside of sadness. But yeah, it's an adventure amongst coworkers is my takeaway.
Yeah.
Like these coworkers are going on an adventure to do their job, and they have different work mentalities, and that's just basically what Inside Out is. Honestly, every Pixar movie is about a group of coworkers.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc., Toy Story, their job is making sure Andy has a good life. Inside Out, Riley has a good life. So every Pixar movie.
Chaos aversion.
And then also, Pixar is A24 for kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how did you feel about the depiction of anxiety? Because as someone who has anxiety, I definitely had thoughts, but I want to get to what you think of.
I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I thought that
I really loved the physical representation of anxiety when she's having the panic attack with the tornado. And then how Joy has to go into the tornado because, like, as someone who's had anxiety attacks, I'm like, oh, this felt real, and like just also seeing the Riley aspect of it, it's like the sound effects, and they worked with real like therapists and like child psychologists. On
you know
this movie.
what? I was gonna say because I was like really thinking when I was watching it, I was like, It really feels like this is the type of emotion that would pull this response when each emotion would speak.
Yeah,
I did really feel that. But you know, going back to your question, I did really like anxiety. I thought it was like a really good, and I thought it was very like a good illustration of what it is like when you first get anxiety. Mm-hmm. Like it's trippy. You're like, what the freak is going on? You know? And you're doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah, I did really like it.
Did you have any favorite moments or characters from the film? And while you think about that, I will say I love Envy because of the actress.
Yes.
Ennui was funny, and I love how like there was just some stupid humor that I was like, yeah, like the sarcasm. I died.
I mean, I love Joy. Joy,
yeah. I mean, Joy is
Amy
classic.
Poehler. Who was Anxiety? I actually really like Anxiety.
Maya Hawke, yeah. And I love how she was like in the promotion. She's like, "Yeah, I'm a nepo baby." Same with Jack Quaid. They're like, "Yeah, I'm a nepo baby."
That's
but like I still have talent. Like that's the thing. So, I don't know if I put this on our when we were texting, but The Boys. Did you finish The Boys?
Yeah, I finished. Okay. Yeah, of course.
I don't know if you want to jump to that or finish Inside Out 2 first, but Inside Out 2, definitely recommend. Go check it out. It's doing phenomenal at the box office, and this is why movies need to stay in the box office because if you can't get to it in the first 2 weeks, I still want to watch it, and like as someone who has A-list, I want to take advantage of it, and you will continue to get successful with it. So I don't know. I did want to mention before we move on from Inside Out 2, Riley and Valentina. Val.
I was gonna say there was a lot of strong lesbian energy. Well, a lot of strong, energy. I'll say.
And this is my takeaway as someone who like grew up playing sports and was reconciling with the fact that like, I like girls and I like guys. And a lot of the times, like in hindsight, a lot of the first times that I like was developing crushes on guys, it was like older classmen who were on my sports team that I looked up to, but it's also kind of like I kind of wanted to be them. But then as I recognized more in hindsight, it was like, oh, I also kind of wanted to be with you. And that's kind of how I felt Riley. And listen, it wasn't overt, so it's open to interpretation. I think they towed that line delicately for sure. But I really appreciated like that there were signals, if not overt tones.
Yeah. I really love the shift towards caring about friendship.
Yeah. I love Grace and Bree. Like, shout out to those queens.
Yeah.
I hope they're thriving at their new school.
Yeah.
Did you ever move schools, and did you ever like miss people because you moved school?
But I in the 2nd grade, my best friend moved.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awful. It was the worst.
Yeah, it's weird because like before I went to 3rd grade, I think my best friends moved, and they moved like across the country.
Wow.
And so like I still like we follow each other on social media. Like I actually when I moved back home before the pandemic, like for the pandemic, when I had bought my car out here because I was planning on living in LA, we left the car at their place. But it's just like weird because like it's always kind of when I see them, it's like, what would have happened if you stayed? Like where would we be? Like what would my life look like? What would your look like? What would our friendship look like? Because it was just like, yeah, when I hang out with them, it is different. It's just different because like we were best friends when we were kids, but now like I don't really see them. I see them at best like every 5 years.
Yeah, it's like it's weird.
Do you keep up with that friend?
No. All of my childhood friends are straight guys, and so like I had 2 that like cut me off completely, like once they found out that I was queer.
You give me their address right now.
But yeah, so it's like I will only hear from them from my mom, or like sometimes like I'll just hear from them here and there, but it's not the same.
I can kind of identify with that because when I was growing up, I went to the public school system, and then I went to a private high school in a different town that was like a prestigious private high school, mostly boarding school. And I didn't really keep up with anyone from my hometown, and then every once in a while like someone reach out on Facebook, or like I'll follow them on social media from like when we were middle school Facebook friends, and they'll like continue and like see that they get married, and I'll be like but it's just like I don't really know what's happening with the lives of the people I went to school with, and I don't know if I am allowed to go to the high school reunion because I didn't go to that high school. But it's just interesting because I definitely want to know where these people are. I want to know the best version of them. Like we knew them when they were kids, but obviously everyone's gone through life changes. There's probably a ton of queer people. And it's like, oh, I want to know what your life story is, and I'm just fascinated by people's stories and like seeing what the world has for us.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like, I often think about, well, not often, but like sometimes I'll like randomly think about that one kid that you made friends with at camp, or like at the park, like doing the slides stuff.
Every time I go home, I look at my yearbooks and I try to like read the things like what people said, and I'm like, I don't even like, I forgot you existed. There are definitely times that I look, I'm like, you're not a real person. Like I went to high school for 4 years with you. I grew up with you. You do not exist. You are not a real person. But yes, what do you want to talk about with the boys?
Okay, so we have to talk about Sage.
Sage is the black superpower woman with the big brain, right?
Yeah. I loved the character. I love that she was just evil for the sake of it. I love the lobotomy.
Full spoilers, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just for everything we talk about, full spoilers.
Yeah, these are completely, but you should watch it. But yeah, say like the lobotomy of it all, I love. I'm really interested to see where her character goes.
Well, next season is going to be the final season. Yes. This did make me want to watch Gen V because I didn't watch Gen V.
Gen Z.
No, Gen V.
Gen V?
It's the college spin-off show. Yeah. We're Gen Z. No, Gen V. No, I definitely I love the plot twist at the end where Sage was basically like, yeah, we had a deal, but also like I wanted to play my own way and see if I could outsmart you. Yeah. Like that was like kind of exciting. This season of The Boys had me feeling some type of way a little bit though, because like I think the best seasons of The Boys are the first 2. I think it's kind of gone downhill. I think they're smelling their own farts a little bit, like creatively. I feel like they're kind of up their own ass.
In what way?
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to like do things just because they can do things, and some of it still works. Like
all the like gruesome things.
The gruesome stuff, like even like the plot. It's just like. It feels like it's a little spinning its wheel. Butcher really frustrates me as a character lately. I also, as a recent survivor, seeing Huey get sexually assaulted by 3 different characters within 2 episodes was really...
And they never really talk about
it. Yeah, and there was no... and it was played off as jokes, for like both the Batman character, Tech Knight, and whoever he was with, or Ashley, and then also the shapeshifter who was pretending to be Annie. It's just like they make it as jokes. I do appreciate Bye Frenchie, although we're not a fan of the actor.
Right.
But Bye Frenchie, probably one of my favorite for the final season.
Yeah.
They did?
They're going to, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's bold. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I do appreciate Bye Frenchie. And yeah, like there was some stuff that I really liked this season, but then there's other stuff that
I didn't like that him and Kamiko were having like chemistry.
Yeah, I liked them better as friends.
As friends,
especially because I liked him with that guy. Obviously, I don't think I should be with him after he's like, yeah, I murdered your family. Like that. These people are unhinged. You know who I want the best for? Mother's Milk. He's the one character that I'm like, I want you to go to the Bahamas and never come back. Yeah. You take your family off to safety. You escape.
I'm hoping that's how it ends.
Yeah, and also I hope Homelander rots.
Yeah. Do you think Ryan's gonna kill him?
I think this season was trying to get Ryan back to the good side, and then the next season Ryan's gonna kill him. Like, but like, they're gonna continue telling stories in this universe? Yes. But are they gonna do it under the Homelander like era, or are they gonna move the needle forward and just like be a spin-off and then like try to expand on the universe? Because if they're gonna do what like Better Call Saul did with Breaking Bad and enhance that story and finish out Saul's story in the Breaking Bad universe, that's one thing. But it's also like, no, I don't need all these cameos from the boys universe. I want you to tell stories about like this world with the superheroes that are corrupt.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm interested in Gen V. Is like, oh, do people like, how do superheroes navigate college? Like, I think that's an interesting concept.
Yes.
Or, like how superheroes that are corrupt potentially navigate a different industry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But this season of The Boys, I think season 3 I liked slightly. I don't know. The last 2 seasons, like I still watch. It's still a good show. It's just for whatever reason. And then the ending really. So I watched the ending the day before Biden dropped out. And I was just like, and that was the week of like the guilty or like that they said, or the Supreme, just America.
Yeah.
And I just felt so demoralized. And then I was like, The Boys, not that it's an optimistic show, but like it just put me in such a bad mood that night.
Yeah.
And then the next day Biden dropped out and Kamala was like,
it ended very evil wins.
Yeah. And like I know there was another season that they're planning, but it was just like left me in such a funky mood.
Yeah.
But spin me around. What's the positives? What did you really like about this season?
No, I really agree. I actually agree with you on the grotesque thing. I felt like they did it too much. It just felt like this season.
There were times where it was funny, like in season 3 when the little Ant-Man character does a line of coke and then goes inside the guy's. Yeah, and that's funny. Yeah. Like that's stupid and unhinged and wild. But
I wonder if it's because all that stuff went viral and a lot of people were talking about it, like, oh, we have to keep doing it. It's gonna get the people, watching and stuff. Which I hope not, because it's good enough that it doesn't need to rely.
Honestly,
on
I think the show would be fine without like all the gore and grotesque.
Yeah,
I appreciate the fact that it's like vulgar, but like even like just the swearing, like I think sometimes they will just like write lines of dialogue with so many different swears, and like listen, I swear a lot, but if you drop F-bombs every other word, you lose the meaning behind the language.
I also really like the interpretation of the shapeshifter's character. I thought it was really dope. I really liked A-Train's redemption story.
Yes, A-Train is a character I'm fascinated by. I honestly think A-Train needs more character development because I think he is kind of underserved by just the ensemble of it all.
Yeah. And I get what they're trying to do now, but like I don't want it to be like like I said, I want more character development because we know he's going to die. But I want to get it before he dies, and it's not, he was bad, and then now he's good, and now he's dead.
Yeah. I also, listen, this is a Chase Crawford apologist account. But I feel like The Deep is starting to get very one note.
Yes.
Like I kind of, even though it was weird, the season where he went to the Christian retreat or whatever, I felt like, okay, he's like, this is commentary, it's interesting, but it's like, then where do we go from here? It's just him hooking up with the different octopuses. I do think that's hilarious that Helen Mirren is the voice of the octopus. But like, I don't know. I want more for Chase Crawford. I thought the first season was so interesting. The second season was pretty strong too, but I I don't know, these last 2 seasons. I know I'm gonna watch the final season. Like I'm maybe it's just because we're discussing it that I definitely have quibbles. The show's really well made. Like at the end of the day, they were able to do some really interesting commentary. I thought the firecracker character was interesting.
Yeah.
And like the pageantry of it all with Annie or Starlight.
Do you like Annie? Or do you like Starlight? Because I didn't know she was a controversial.
This is a complicated question because like she's a very flawed character. I like her. I think
I do too.
I like her, but it's also like I feel like she gets a lot more. I feel like I wish they held her. I feel like they don't treat her and Butcher equally. Whereas like Butcher is kind of like, maybe it's just like the misogyny of it all, but like we see her like actually reconcile with her demons and like how she's messed up.
Yeah.
And like not that Butcher doesn't, like his brother's storyline, but it's just like then it's like played off either for laughs or it's like, oh, let's like have you be like surly and like grumpy and like I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, formulate words right now, but that was not a sentence.
No. I agree with that. Yeah. And I don't think they play up on that, but I definitely felt like a lot more since I've been hearing the commentary on Starlight, how they just been feeling like how she's kind of self-absorbed and stuff like that.
Yeah, valid, but I feel like she's a necessary character.
I thought so too.
Yeah. And also she like gets shit done. Like she's the reason that A-Train is even like willing to work with them as often as they have. She like without Starlight they'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Like you know what else? I didn't like the fact that the episode with the animals. I think that was another one where they were just trying to be like gross for grossness. Like the animals that like they were experimenting on the animals.
Oh, when
and
they
had like all the
cows. And stuff.
Like they were like I don't know, and just grotesque. I also liked Victoria. No.
Oh, I loved Victoria Newman
as a character. I don't like her as like I don't like her ideology. I don't like that she's a dictator, but I like that she was like a woman of color who was the most powerful superhero out there. And then they just like killed her off, and I was like, oh, but you were building stakes.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I know. I felt like we were just getting to like a really good part with her character, and then they killed her off. I was not pleased with that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the shock factor. That's also like frustrating. It's like sometimes they'll just do it for the shock.
I wonder if like they're kind of noticing that they're kind of like running in like a hamster wheel with some of the characters and stuff. And that's why they're like, okay, let's start branching out.
Yeah, I feel like I need like I'm glad this show's ending after 5 seasons. I think I'm ready for it to end. I want to see what happens with Sage. Now they're bringing Soldier Boy back, and I was like, I thought he was done. Like, it's just like I just want the best for Huey. I did like the emotional growth that like the episode with his dad getting the superpowers right before he died. I thought that was like interesting and I
hope they get like they should hire Bo DeMaio or something.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Anyways, what else do you want to talk about? Like, what else? Are you watching any of the Olympics?
I have been seeing the highlights, and so I know the controversies. I know that Simone Biles has been killing it. I know that who was the first? Actually,
Brazil.
What did Brazil do?
Rebecca Andrade, she beat Simone in the floor exercise. She won gold yesterday.
Oh, that's the one with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, yes. And then there's Steven Natarazak, who is the pommel horse guy with the glasses.
Yes, okay. Him. And then there's the Filipino.
The gymnast?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw him stick that landing. Okay. Ooh, that landing was gorgeous.
Yes. I love the Olympics. My favorite commentator on the Olympics is Snoop Dogg.
He's a common.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg is there. He and Martha Stewart were dressed in equestrian gear. It's hilarious. The Sesame Street gang went to Paris, like Elmo and Tango and Cookie Monster, and they're all in Paris living it up.
You know what's also been like really interesting? I've been following this one girl on TikTok. I don't remember
Abby
her name.
Kadabi. No, I'm kidding.
But no, she's been like talking about like the life on the
in the campus.
In the campus.
And the muffins guy.
Yes. And so she's been talking about all of that, and like that's been like some of my favorite, because like you have all these hot people all over the world, and like it's a big orgy. They're dating. They're talking about flirting with people.
I want to go to a USA House just to like be there for the vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it seems like so much fun.
Yeah, it seems like summer camp.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's what they say it is. Like once they're done with their stuff, it's pretty much
they just get to eat French food and baguettes.
Yeah, I heard the food was not good though.
Oh, makes sense. It probably gives college campus vibes. I'm sure you've seen the Twitter guy, the pole vaulter.
Oh. Yeah. What a big surprise, right?
Yeah. I saw a lot of memes that was like, he might have lost the medal, but he won the real prize.
Oh my gosh, yes. I hope he better capitalize off of this. I mean, the whole world is watching. The whole world is impressed.
What's your, if you were his PR, you were his agent, what would you say? OnlyFans next?
I mean, yeah. OnlyFans are like, do like GQ stuff and like, just be like, I don't know. I would capitalize off of that. Yeah.
I saw someone tweet, roses are red. Girls are from Venus. France may have lost a medal, but because of this man.
I mean, jeez. I mean, honestly, a lot of attractive men.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was this Olympics.
Attractive people.
Attractive people down.
Yeah.
Even like the boxer that has what's her name? Is it
Iman Khalif, I think.
Iman Khalif. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's
Do you want to talk about that? The controversy? Or
yeah,
I want her to win gold.
I want her to win gold. I support her. I stan her.
J.K. Rowling.
Something has to be done with the mistreatment that a lot of these Olympians go through.
It's literally like she's Algerian. In Algeria, they criminalize trans people. Yet then they're like going out here and I saw a tweet that's like the intersection of racism and transphobia is large, and it's just literally like she is getting hated on for being a woman.
Yeah.
Just like people suck.
Yeah, I heard that in Algeria they don't really sue for that stuff, but I hope that
she better get a defamation lawsuit.
I hope there's something that she can do while she's in France.
Go for J.K. Rowling and her coins
and sue
and Elon,
every freaking person, and get all the coins, because the way that they dogged her out is unexcusable. They're definitely, I think the Olympics needs to do a little bit more, especially because the other girl that she fought next, she made that thing like with the devil versus
she escalated
her.
It.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not okay.
Like the Italian girl, like I have seen conflicting reports, but it was just kind of like, yeah, I got hit hard. I wasn't intending for her to like be dealing with all this transphobia. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like, watch it live. I wasn't watching, but then the next person went off and like escalated the situation. It's just like, let this girl box and live in peace.
Yeah, there should definitely be some type of sportsmanship code of conduct kind of thing.
And that was on the day with the cheese where the girl was being sponsored by cheese from Italy. And I was like, yes, Italy. And like the day before, the Italian 18-year-old gymnast did an incredible floor routine. Like low-key, I thought that was like potentially like better than Simone's. Yeah. For the all-around. And I was just like, come on, Italy.
That one for Algeria?
No, that was uneven bars. Kalia, forget her last name. But yeah, so she was the girl that France wouldn't let compete with France, and then she went to Algeria and then won bronze, silver, and home turf or whatever.
Oh my god! Also, yes, and one of my favorite creators on TikTok was commenting on the gymnast face cards. They're all so stunning.
Rebecca, yes. Also, can we talk about some of these outfits are stunning, like the gymnastics ones. The Brazilian gymnastics one, like I think Flavia, I forget her last name, but she might have been the designer. Like, as a Brazilian American, I've been thriving with women's gymnastics, and I love the men's team so much. I cried this Olympics. I cried when I watched the men's team win the all-around bronze, and then all the guys went to go hug their families, and then at the end, Brody, forget his last name, but then he goes to hug his dad, and it's just like I don't know. It's just like emotional. Like I started sobbing. It's just like
the Olympics is really cool because it kind of puts all that like all the craziness aside, and it's just like fun games, and it's like.
And that's why I think I was also really disappointed. Obviously, beyond the like human aspect of how horrible it is, it's just like the Olympics is just kind of celebrating life and humanity.
Yeah, and we're all together all over the world.
It's like the cast of High School Musical said, we're all in this together.
Right.
And it was just kind of disappointing. It took like this really fun celebration of what the world can be, and made it a little icky.
Yeah.
And
especially like with all the artists and stuff like that, and then there were
speaking of just in terms of something that we didn't talk about the high jump, but the Ukrainian girl beating the I love the personality of the Australian girl who got silver, but the podium was Ukraine first, Australia second, and then Ukraine and Australia both tied for third.
Oh, really?
And just knowing everything that Ukraine is going through right now, it's just beautiful to see that. And I know there was Oleg, who was one of the male gymnasts, and he was doing really well. I don't think he ended up on the podium, but just seeing some of those packages about Ukraine was really inspiring and emotional as well. But I love the Olympics. I'm so excited for the Paralympics too.
And you know what? I love a lot of the people that win, and they're the first person to ever win in their country.
St. Lucia. Where's Monet Exchange?
Okay. I was Sha'Carri didn't win, but I was this is amazing for this girl.
Yes. Look at her comeback also. But some of the stories, of the comeback stories, Suni Lee having the kidney disease, and then Simone, of course, with the twisties.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many great stories. But yeah, shout out to all the amazing gymnasts. And watching the men do gymnastics made me realize, I wish I stuck through gymnastics. The teachers that I had were mean. And I think it was because I was a boy. But
there's adult, you can take adult.
Yeah, no, I did look into volleyball leagues and adult swim leagues because I was a swim team kid. But I do think when I have kids, I want to definitely be okay, especially if they're boys, I want to encourage gymnastics. And I did see the statistic that seeing specifically pommel horse guy, but the whole men's gymnastics team is encouraging people to get their boys in gymnastics, their kids. And I know Worcester, Massachusetts, where pommel horse guy is from, and that gym got a ton of calls trying to enroll their young boys in gymnastics program at the gym that Stephen Netterosdak started at. But shout out to all the amazing athletes. What would your Quandel specific Olympic event be?
Oh wait, before we do that, I wanted to talk about the basketball. There's a basketball game. And it's crazy because I'm really not into basketball, but TikTok, they gave me with their clips. And so there was America versus South Sudan. And it was South Sudan was giving America a run for their money. And I'm talking about LeBron James, Steph Curry. These are really good basketball players. And more, there were other people, but these are the only people I remember. And so it's you have these people from South Sudan, and this is just their basketball team. It's not this national thing. They had to get a lot of their funding because I think something along the lines of their country maybe didn't fund their Olympics.
I mean, it's what Flavor Flav is doing with the women's water polo team. He is sponsoring them because despite the fact that these are Olympians, they have to a lot of times work their way into being part of the Olympics.
A lot of some of their countries, there was one girl, they flew her out here, and then they didn't do some type of they didn't qualify her, or they didn't do something that they were supposed to sign or something for her, and so she was there for nothing. And there's a lot of countries that drop the ball on this, and so the athletes, with also being a human and being an athlete and most likely being in the country that they're in, they have to also be okay, we got to, pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we have to also find funding to get out here. It's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
And I wish it was, it sucks, and I want it to get better for a lot of these people because it's so nice to see these people from these countries and show up and show out and stuff like that. But they shouldn't have to go through these things. I agree. Yeah. So, yeah. But I did want to shout out the South Sudan team that played America. They were amazing. Go find their story on TikTok if you can. It's a beautiful story.
All right. Now, what's the Quandel Olympic event?
Quandel Olympic event. Probably I would probably say, oh boy, because I was like, I'd probably say like watching
television,
TV.
Honestly,
I love TV.
Yeah.
But like I could also say sleeping. I love sleeping, but I also could say eating because I do also love eating. I could also say smoking weed. I do love smoking weed. I think I'm gonna have to go with watching Housewives.
Oh, yes. Housewives. Yes. You tried to call me when I was in the movie theater the other day. Do you want to talk about this?
So you misrepresented me on your other podcast.
First of all, what'd you think of Nicole?
She was amazing, a sweetheart, and I have to talk to her because now she thinks...
I did send the voice memo that you sent me to her.
Oh, did you? Yeah. What did she say?
Oh, okay, you tell the story, set the scene while I pull this up.
Okay, so he's on his podcast... And he's like, let me destroy Quandel and his
I did not say that.
As a Housewives fan. Because you said that I said that Dubai in New Jersey, which I have to say, New Jersey's this season is so good. And I don't know if you have to watch older, because New Jersey is one of those seasons that's really good with like, it kind of is lore. I would say there's a lot of lore in it. And so right now we're at this point, which all these seasons, all the pillars of Housewives have had to come to this point where they're at an impasse where the cast can't get together. So now we have to do a reboot.
Yeah.
And so New Jersey is at its reboot. And so you have this like, we've had this great, like they called it the Last Supper. And they had all the people there, and it's like, this is the last time we're gonna. This is the last time we're getting Teresa and Melissa. That's been a crazy ride. I know it's not popular. I like Melissa, but I understand that she does not give as much to the show as Teresa. So I understand that she will not. She won't be coming back. I think it was a good close off season for her. But yeah, this last, it was crazy. But anyways, going back, yes, Dubai, I love Dubai, but no, unfortunately they haven't gotten there yet. It's a solid season, but no. I would say since if I am recommending a show for you, I would probably recommend New York, old New York, Miami, cause Latinas, and they have the best stories.
Okay.
They have the best stories. Especially, you could probably do older Miami, but like you can jump right into the reboot. It's really good too. And then I would probably, I think you would like New Jersey, because I think you would like all the characters. You got to get into the older
I feel
New
like
Jersey.
I'm mostly familiar with probably like the Atlanta housewives, like Kenya, Nene, Candy, what was her name from the Traders? Phaedra.
Yeah, I was gonna say Atlanta. Like, if you haven't,
I know so many of those names. So it's like, there's also a Portia, right?
Yeah, Portia.
Yeah. So I know so many of those names from have seen them on other stuff.
Yeah.
But Nicole's adamant about Salt Lake City.
So this
because
is
of
what
the Mormons.
So this is what I will say about Salt Lake.
Also, just as I said, I sent Quandel our podcast episode, and he had to defend himself. LOL. Sent the voice memo, and then Nicole says, "Oh, that a lot of sense. He has been vindicated." Also, I think you would love the photo of Nicole. It's her with a bong.
Oh, period. Oh, she's a fellow smoker. But okay, so what I'll say about Salt Lake is great, and I think you would really enjoy Salt Lake. But the thing about Salt Lake is the women of Salt Lake are fans of Housewives, and so they studied the game. And so I feel like to really enjoy Salt Lake and the women and all of the greatness that they bring, I feel like you have to watch older Housewives because then you'll really appreciate the chaos of the women that is Salt Lake. I think pretty much every woman.
Well, just based on everything you said, I feel like you know how to wet my whistle with the Latina. I was like, ooh, Miami speaking to me.
You're gonna like Miami.
I feel
it's a sleeper.
It's a sleeper. Let me text the girlies. But listen, for the next podcast that we do, I want to at least be like a little bit into the Housewives journey.
We have to meet up so we can do like a
a one-on-one. Yeah. Okay. Now, listen, before we go into Big Brother, because I do want to segue this into what I'm going to try to convert you into, like an old school Big Brother fan. I are you familiar with the controversy at the Olympics about the Last Supper? Or not?
Oh, yeah.
Well, first off, shout out to France for in their Olympic opening ceremonies. They're like, let's give a shout out to the threesomes that we invented.
Okay, period.
Which honestly, like, I think are you familiar with the dating app Field?
Yes.
So I switched that because like I'm on it, and I was like, you know what? I would date a couple. I think. I don't know. Yeah. So but I would want to be the third. I don't want to like get in. Like I'm like a friend that you invite over and we like hang out as homies. But then so I saw a tweet that was like all these people in France that are like, oh, the transphobia about or the drag queen hating.
Yeah. Shout out to Nikki Doll.
Yes, Nikki Doll hosted Drag Race France.
Yes.
That was the last season of Drag Race I watched. Was she on Simone and Candy season or no?
No.
Okay, I watched the one after then. But then I saw a tweet that was also like, yeah, they hated all the drag queens, but if you just had one of those drag girlies in the locker room teaching that man how to tuck, France would have a gold medal.
Okay, period.
Yeah. But anyways, Big Brother. Whoops. Didn't mean to attack the mic like Angela attacked Matt. Crazy Eyes. What have you thought of the season?
I've only watched the first episode.
The first episode with Ainsley? That's it? Or you watched the whole week, the first week?
I only seen the first episode.
Quandel.
I have to get
into it.
I'm gonna watch it.
You can even honestly jump in from like episode 4.
Okay.
Like I mean, you have to see.
No, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna.
Because I mean, you have to meet my girl Leah, who said she's a chubby chaser. I'm like, hello.
Wait, which one's Leah? Because I kind of remember what
she was in. Like. She was in the second batch of 8. So did you watch both premieres or just the first episode?
Oh,
because there was a 2-part premiere where 8 house guests moved in the first night and then 8 house guests moved in the second night.
Oh yeah, I just watched.
Okay, they do the same thing basically, but Leah is my girl. She was in the second night, and she's basically like, I'd like a guy who has a little bit of meat on his bones. And I was like, oh hello, especially Big Brother girl.
See, they should have casted you.
They should have.
Show me.
Yeah. But then there's like a lot of mess. You've seen the clip of Angela going crazy, right?
Yes.
So do you mind if I like spoil that?
Yeah,
first
go
week?
ahead.
So she wins the first HOH.
Okay. Yes,
and
I'm so here for. You know, we were. I don't know if you were there, but at your party, we were talking about
Felicia.
Yes, we were. But why we were talking about that is because we really like a lot of the old people in Big Brother, a lot of the underdogs and stuff like that.
Angela is. I mean, she's an underdog, but I have.
Yeah. But like, sometimes I feel like even when they get older persons, even if they're older,
they're like the first boot.
They're usually gone. Or I feel like sometimes the game isn't always helpful to them.
Well, I feel like older people. I mean, that is also influencing my decision in like certain seasons that I'm thinking about right now as I'm racking my brain. But like, I love that's. I think seeing Felicia, Suri, Heisem all in the same season last year, and these are 3 of the most entertaining figures on the season. I mean, the fact that we got Felicia and Suri in the final 5. I mean, also she tried to say that she was 34, but Bowie Jane, like she was also in her 40s,
right?
Like, I think diversity across the board in terms of like the type of people you cast, especially on Big Brother, is like so interesting because like there was a pocket of seasons that were just like mostly young 20s and then one older person. And I'm like, I like the fact that this cast is diverse. There's like 2 people in their 50s. There's like people in their 30s and 40s. Like, I feel like it's a nice, diverse season age-wise. And I feel like I want Big Brother to be a little bit more representative of the world that we live in. Yeah. And
like Canada.
Yeah.
I think Canada's Big Brother.
What have you seen from Canada?
I only see their clips and I only see their cast.
So you know who Ika is? She's the woman who shreds the letters.
No, I never seen that.
You have to go watch the clip. It's 12 minutes of pure good television. Ika shredding the letters. YouTube that. Basically, it's for the context. Ika's on the block. She's going home. She wins like a luxury competition where they have to guess how many balls are in the backyard. She's like, I need this. This might be an advantage. No. Then they lock her in the backyard. They turn on the TV so everyone can see and hear what she's saying. But she doesn't know this. And they're like, here's $5,000, a check. Or you can give all the house guests a letter from home. And here's a shredder. You have to pick. You shred either the letters or you shred the check. And then she's just talking out loud. She's talking out loud like, I hate all these motherfuckers. But maybe if I give them the letters, they'll keep me. But they put me on the block. And then at the end, like, it's like I'm describing it. And then they get into a fight after because they hear what she says and she takes the check.
Good.
It's so good. Yeah, and then she comes back. So one of the seasons I'm thinking about showing you is Big Brother Canada 5. Because I think Big Brother Canada 5 is so good. I will get you the links. Okay. So I'm thinking Big Brother 3, My brother says Big Brother 6. I like Big Brother 6, especially if you like fights. Did you see Casey and Fessels and Big Brother 20? Did you see Big Brother 20? That's the one with like Haley and Fessy and Bailey and Swaggy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like that
season. I
still
follow her. She's
Bailey.
So cute.
Yeah, Bailey's great. I love Bailey. But that's the one. Season was very like, oh, one side of the house. It's like two sides of the house. One wins HOH, takes someone out. That's Big Brother 6 is very like this. It's like swings back and forth. Big Brother 6 is really good. But I think Big Brother 3 is something. Big Brother 10 is high up on most superfans lists. I like Big Brother 10. I'm not oversold, but if you like older house guests, Jerry is in his 70s and Rennie's in her 50s, and they're both crazy. Like Felicia is the second coming of Rennie. So I think I mean Big Brother 3 is like I think the best season of Big Brother. It encapsulates what early Big Brother was, but also like advances the game and strategy. I think you would love Danielle Reyes. She's gonna be on the Traitors.
No, I've seen Danielle Reyes before, but okay. I wanted to circle back to something. The reason why, like, and this has been hard for me with Big Brother, and I'm trying to get out of this, and I think I will. But what I was talking at your party is like I feel, and the reason why I love Traitors is because I feel like they let everybody win. Like they give I feel like whether it's producers or whatever, I feel like they give a good opportunity for like all different types. Exactly. It gives
Big Brother's gotten better. I do feel like there was Big Brother 21 the season that Mickey won. I feel like those were a lot of physical, and like the end game is noticeably been more like it's like a lot of running around and like, listen, at the end of the day, like life isn't fair, so these games aren't going to be fair. But I do think this season has been pretty equitable in terms of the comps.
But you know what I mean? Like in Traitors,
I mean, to be fair, Felicia did win an HOH. Granted, it was like slide a number down a scale and whatever.
That's fine.
But like the randomness, like anyone can win on every certain day, I think is what a lot of Big Brother fans really want. And I think Reindeer Games had a couple of really great comps that were more equitable. And like I hear you. In the early part of the game, it's really like kind of random, and then as the game progresses, then I think a lot of those comps, because like there's a reason Jag won all the competitions. It was like him and Matt for the most part in those competitions. But also, to be fair, he was like, I guess 3 women who were over 40 in the final 5. Not that they can't kick ass also, but Suri has never won an immunity challenge on Survivor. It's not like she's gonna win a Big Brother competition that easy. But I think also my thing with Big Brother, the first week is a setup, right? You're getting to establish everyone. And then once the big catalyst of the season happens, then it gets good. I think Big Brother Canada 12, the first week was kind of slow, but then the catalyst hit on week 2, and I was like, oh, then it got spicy. It gets on a tear.
Yeah.
Because as people start getting more exasperated with each other, people get, gameplay starts picking up. You start like taking shots earlier than you should. And like this week apparently was really crazy in the feeds. I've been like, I tangentially know it's happened. But to go back to Angela, she's such a Karen. Like,
really?
Yeah, she is a Karen. She's exhausting me. Like, I think she's good television, but she reminds me of the people I dislike the most when I'm at work, like in terms of like guests. And she is such a Karen. Like, literally, you've seen the clip of her yelling at him, right? Well, she's HOH, and she like has it out for him. And like, listen, I haven't seen the live feed portion, but at least in the way they portrayed it on the episode, Matt was basically like, yeah, well, if you put me on the block, I'm going to go win the competition and I'm going to be taken off the block. So put me up. And like, she was like, you threatened me. Like, you're a brat. Your mom would be so disappointed in you because you're a brat. She's watching her son on TV because you're a brat. And like she's going after his mom. And then like he cries in the bathroom. Granted, like, I don't know all the nuances of what happened. But then also, I don't know. She's just, well, she also apparently was, there's a TikTok that has surfaced of her getting in a fight with another lady at a Costco, and she's the one filming. She's the like behind. She's like, yeah, you go get a facelift or something, or like, and you look like you have a facelift, and the other lady's like, yeah, I wish I had a facelift. Then maybe my husband would do me. Or something. Like,
okay.
I don't remember what. And then she's like mean to this other girl that's just annoying. Like there was this one girl in the house that people just didn't like her because she's kind of annoying. She was like putting glitter on everyone's food.
Oh. That's nasty.
It was edible glitter.
I thought, that's still.
It's like weird. Yeah, but they were like annoyed with her, and she's like, "You're a twit. Don't talk to me." And she's like, just like being so, like making fun of her walk. She's just like, kind of a child, and she's 50 years old. Granted, like if I was in that house, I'd probably do some stupid stuff, but like she's definitely like a Karen.
Yeah.
Great television. Yeah. I just would be miserable.
Is there somebody's gonna call her out?
Oh yeah, no. So there was this whole debacle.
No, I just need to know that somebody calls her out.
Oh yeah, Matt gave it back to her, and then like Lisa, yeah. They're
cool.
all.
That's all I need, because I hate when there's just somebody. Like, I understand, you know. Well,
there's this woman T-Core who also kind of like calls her into a conversation, and granted, like at least in the way the episode portrayed, I don't know, I wasn't watching the feeds, but Angela, like, there's a scene. This is minor spoilers, but there's a scene where 4 of the Black House guests are talking at the hammock, and they're just having a conversation. And then Angela tells one of the White House guests, like, that's the group. But the way she describes it is she's like, that's the group I want to be a part of, because she wants them in an alliance. Versus Quinn, who, excuse me, Quinn, who is the person that Angela said that to, took it as that's the alliance of the season. Like, that's who we should be watching out for. Whereas the way Angela was describing it in the diary was like, oh no, this is who I want to be in an alliance with because I like all these people. Yeah. And then Quinn tells T-Core, and then T-Core tries to have a conversation with Angela about the optics and like, yeah, you watched Taylor season, right? Yeah. You remember how that Kyle was like, oh, all the people of color are teaming up because they're going to do the cookout. So it was kind of like one of those, like, you just have to recognize what you're saying and the optics of that. And Angela's like, I'm not racist. How dare you do that? And then she grabs Cedric and starts shaking him. It's like, I love you. Like, so yeah. So, I mean, the season's juicy. There's a swinger on the cast, the cop. People found that he's on Swing Talk, and then he's like he's like in hedonism in Jamaica.
What?
Yeah, and
what is that?
It's an upside down pineapple emoji. it's a swinger party.
Oh, okay.
But like he's like the cop, so it's like, oh, he tried to scrub his social media, but then like people go on his TikTok and find that he's a part of the swinger community, which Pop King, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. But it's just also like that's how his kids probably find out.
Yeah. Oh gosh! Oh my goodness!
Big Brother's crazy. Big Brother is the best drug. Yeah. Because when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'll watch it.
I think that's the first task. I want you to catch up on this season because I want to talk about it with you, and I just feel like, oh my God, Quandel.
How many episodes are there?
I think last night Sunday was episode 9, and then tomorrow and Thursday are new episodes. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I catch up.
You fast forward through the competitions, like. But you like the competition.
I like competition.
Do you ever watch things on faster speeds?
No.
No, I love watching things on faster speeds.
I probably should.
I have so much ADHD that I can watch. I watched the House of the Dragon finale, I think on 2.5 speed.
Okay, so what did you think about House of the Dragon?
Are you caught up?
Yes, I finished today.
I thought the whole season was a war. And then the final episode was like, we're going to go start the war. I was like, what? I thought the whole season was the war.
I was like, so I really love the dynamic between Rhaenyra and Allison. I love sister. Like, okay, I don't think I'm conflicted because I'm like, well, I don't think they were ever really friends. I think they kind of just grew up together.
I feel kind of bad for Allison, right? Because her dad is like, go marry this old man, go have children with him. He's gonna like just so he can produce an heir and you can be like the queen regent or whatever. It's just I feel like
that's
she's
how I felt
very
too.
Tortured character.
But my only thing, and it actually reminded me of like Housewives, because there's this scene of like Jill Zarin and Bethany and Jill Zarin were good girlfriends, and then they had a falling out. And so all season long, Bethany is like, I want to make up with you, and Jill's like, no. And then towards the end of the season, Jill is like, let's make up. Yeah. And Bethany's like, fine, okay. But it's too late. Yeah. And that's what it reminded me of. Because I felt bad for Allison until she said it was too late. And I agreed with her, but I was like, okay, then I guess it is what it is. But then when she came back, I was like, I feel for you and I get what you're saying. But like she said, it's too late. Mm-hmm. I mean, she gave up her son for it. Yeah. You know?
Not to the level of The Boys, but I also do feel like sometimes the Game of Thrones franchise glorifies violence, especially violence against women and children. Yeah. Like, the first episode was really hard to watch, like, when they kill the kid. Especially, with the context of everything that's happening in the world. I was like, I just didn't feel good about it. Like, I was just like, I don't want to see children die in my content when when that's already all over the news. Yeah. But, like, the show's really well made. I'm just not the biggest again, like going back to my conversation about movies, like I understand why it's prestige television, but I like other shows better. This one, like, even like other prestige shows better. Like, I love Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad a lot more versus this. It's just like, maybe not a big fantasy sci-fi. I'm more of sci-fi guy, but I'm not a big fantasy head. Like, I like Dune went over my head. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
See, I am a big sci-fi.
I like sci-fi.
I like I'm sorry, no.
Anime.
I like,
Anime's not in the conversation.
Fantasy.
Quandel.
I like fantasy, and I really like Game of Thrones. I like House of Dragons. I think my issue with it is like I feel like we're just in the first part of the story. I feel like we're for only 8 episodes every 2 years. I don't feel like the story is moving like in a fast enough pace for me. I feel like we get mid-season when the season ends. I felt like this was the most eventful thing that happened this season towards the end of the season, and it was over.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh, and then I have to wait 2 years for us to pick up, and hopefully we get to the big war and all this stuff.
I literally thought we were in the middle of the war all season. I thought the war started at the end of last season when I'm justice for Lucerys. That kid did not deserve to fall off that dragon and die.
Yeah.
I hate Aemond. I don't care about the Matt Smith character. I don't care about half these characters. Like, just give me like the interesting stuff. Like, Game of Thrones could be 45 minutes an episode. They don't need like an hour 15 every episode. I don't know. What?
I want the hour. I like
more for you. Give me the TV version and then have the extended cut for Quandel.
Yeah, honestly, I love an extended version. Give me the Zack Snyder version every fucking day.
I had to watch that in like 7 pieces.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with cutting it up but I'm okay with the story being good. Just like X-Men. Like I feel like X-Men.
I was gonna say we have like maybe like 20 minutes left at most, so we should start talking about Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
That was like the cream of the crop.
Oh my gosh.
So pop off, you go first.
I really enjoyed Deadpool. I thought it was really good. I thought it was Wolverine's movie. And Deadpool was starring in it. Like I thought like this was the
emotional beats of the movie was Wolverine based. Like
yes. And Hugh Jackman is amazing. Body T. Okay?
I was just like Deadpool at the end. I was like, hello? Yeah.
I know. And then like it's like also like he's hot, he looks great. Like there's so many things to like really absorb in it. And then he gives you great acting in it. You know, he hits you with those emotional beats and you realize why he's that fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, I loved all the different variants of Deadpool, Lady Deadpool
Blake Lively,
and then Kid Deadpool being his daughter, and then the baby is his baby.
Yeah.
And then like the dog is the world's ugliest dog. You know, I liked all the variants. I thought they were really cool.
Chris Evans was looking scrumptious.
Oh my gosh, and he was Johnny Storm.
Yeah, so for years I was saying I only want Chris Evans to return to the MCU if he has Johnny Storm. And then when he shows up, and I'm like, oh, Captain America.
Yeah,
especially because they set it up by showing Matthew McFadyen with Chris Evans in the background of the TVs. And then he said, and then Deadpool's like, oh, he's gonna say it, Avengers at Flame On.
Right.
And I was like, yes.
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah, that and then when Wesley Snipes walked in, those were the 2 biggest pops in my theater.
My only gay request would have been them having Jessica Alba.
Yes. So I read that they had people like the guy who played Reed Richards in that same Fantastic Four movie. He was like on set, and Michael Chiklis also. They were like on set, like because of spoilers. So like they planted fake cameos.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
And I thought that was incredible. And also, do you know that? Did you get the Channing Tatum of it all?
Yes, okay, him being Gambit, and then there was always supposed to do that. I thought his accent was amazing. Yeah. I know the comic book accurate thing was corny, but I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was amazing. I loved all of it. I
love Daphne Keane. I need to finish The Acolyte. She was in The Acolyte. I also never watched Logan, so I started it after watching Deadpool.
Oh, really?
That was like the one X-Men movie I haven't seen. Of course, like Logan's the best one.
Really good, yeah.
The best one. My favorite X-Men movie, I think, is First Class. But my top 3 are like X2, First Class, and Days of Future Past.
Okay.
I know people love the original X-Men. I think that movie, like, it's good. it's just so badly lit. Like that movie is not well lit at all. I was kind of bummed that we didn't see any like of Halle Berry.
I know. I was hoping.
I almost said Halle Bailey.
I was hoping that what I thought we were doing was they were going to show Logan. I thought they were gonna show like the X-Men, like a brief little flashback of them, and then we were gonna see Halle Berry and everybody.
Well, so you've seen the Marvels, right?
Yeah.
So is the universe that Monica Rambeau is in now the universe from like the original X-Men movies that Deadpool is in? Is that like the Deadpool universe that X-Men, or is it not? Or like 20th Century Fox universe?
The one that X-Men's in.
Is that where Monica Rambeau is in now at the end of the Marvels?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because it was the Kelsey Grammer Beast, which is problematic, man. But, yeah.
Go ahead.
Cassandra Nova.
I was just about to say Cassandra Nova. Yeah. She was amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to Emma Corrin. I was like, where have I seen you before? And this is like their big acting break. I mean, they've done a couple of stuff, but like this was my first introduction. I was like, no, you seem so familiar. They were having so much fun playing this character. She was so fucked up in the head.
The fingers through the... Oh, my God.
I will say, I think my favorite part of the movie was the second act. Everything in the void. Yeah. When they were before the void and it was very exposition heavy, I did love the bye action sequence.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I did feel like... I don't know, this is my common complaint with like post-Endgame Marvel. I feel like they like cut corners a lot. I feel like they just, I don't know. I thought it would have been more impactful if Deadpool and Wolverine both died. I felt like the movie would have hit more. Also, like, I don't know if this was something said on a podcast I was listening to, but like in Marvel movies now, like there's no stakes because they can just pull whoever they want from whatever multiverse.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing that I do. And also, like, this goes back to my biggest, like, I hated Quantumania, but you can't have Ant-Man beating Kang. What the hell?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like actually kill some characters off. Like do something big and bold.
Yeah.
Like not Miss Marvel, protect her at all costs, but kill someone.
Yeah.
Kill someone. Not in real life, but like Paul Rudd's character Scott Lang should not have escaped the Quantumania or should not have beaten Kang's ass.
I wonder if now that they're adding so many people, because I feel like killing people off, like I don't think they're not gonna kill off Ryan Reynolds. They're not. They want him for other movies.
I mean, you can always pull someone from a multiverse now. At least kill them off in this universe.
I think what they might start doing is like, now that they have more ensemble cast, I think they'll probably start killing off those people.
Yeah. I mean, they killed off Kobe Smulders in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, so I think they're going to just start having a lot of people and start...
At least, the movies are feeling very comic booky. Like, whereas Endgame was like a cohesive storyline, I feel like now post-Endgame, it's very comic booky. It's like, oh, Wanda's appearing in this Doctor Strange comic. Wolverine is appearing in this Deadpool comic. Like,
I felt like this movie was very comic-based.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Like, it makes sense. Like, these movies aren't hitting... I don't think there is a way that Marvel can tell a cohesive story for everyone. I feel like everyone, people who care are going to show up, and then now you just try to make individual solid stories. But give us, like, I want my Shang-Chi sequel. Come on, where you at?
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I have a question. So I know a lot of people were like, it was kind of polarizing, the breaking of the fourth wall. What did you think of it?
I mean, that's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, I do think it was a little, like, oversaturated, especially, like, but that's also Deadpool. Like, I feel like the first one did it the best, but it's the same thing as Inside Out. You don't know what you're expecting, and then you get it, and then nothing can ever relive to that, like, that feeling you had when you watched the first one. But I do think it was, like, a little too much. But some of them were really funny.
Yeah.
Like, in the first scene where he's like, I have, like, there's 246 bones in the human body, 247 when I'm watching Gossip Girl, which is, I think, is funny because it's, like, Blake Lively.
Yes.
But then there's other stuff that it's like a little too much that I'm like, okay, no, can we focus? Like when I feel like the emotionality of a scene is undercut. Like there was something really powerful with, I forget what scene it was, but Wolverine was having a moment and then Deadpool makes a snarky comment. I was like, no, let us feel the beat for a moment.
Yeah.
What about you? What did you feel?
I felt like there was a good amount of moments where I was just like, okay, we get it. You read the internet. Okay. Yeah. Like, okay. And yeah, like I felt like some of the moments were undertaken by that, but I was like, it is probably one of the last movies that Deadpool's gonna get, so I guess go big or go home.
I will say, but also it's kind of like comic book accurate, especially like When he's like, oh, as seen in Loki season 1, episode 5, I'm like, they would probably do that in the comic books.
Yeah,
in the little, like,
that's
thing.
fine, but like talking about like
Disney and
talking
Fox,
about
so,
Disney
like, how we
and
can't
all,
say cocaine.
Yeah, like
yeah, I also think Matthew McFadyen was kind of wasted. Like, I like the actor a lot. Apparently, he didn't like being Mr. Darcy when all my friends who love Pride and Prejudice were like, what the hell? That was his best role. But I think he's such a good actor that I felt like he was good in the role, but I felt like his character was kind of just like, yeah, whatever.
Did you see? Did you notice Henry Cavill?
Yes, that was so funny. That was funny.
Body. Yes. Also, okay. So we got to talk about Elektra.
Yes.
We got to talk about Blade. We talked about Gambit, and who am I missing? Somebody?
X-23.
X-23. Yes. Oh my gosh, all of them were.
Well, I had seen a spoiler like 2 weeks before the movie came out that Elektra was going to be in the movie.
Okay, I heard a lot of people said they saw that. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of those.
I do kind of want to watch Daredevil and Elektra now, even though I heard they're bad.
Oh, you never seen them?
No.
Oh, Elektra is amazing. I loved
playing Elektra. I had this GameCube game that was like Marvel Unleashed, I think is what it's called. Okay, and Elektra was one of my favorite characters. But I like Spider-Man. I love the flippy characters. I love doing flips and tricks. Daredevil 2 was another one.
Elektra. I think you'll like Elektra. Like, did you watch Storm? Did you like Catwoman and like it?
No, I haven't seen Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
But I do know there's a basketball scene.
But no, I think you'll. Well, all I can remember is Elektra.
Is it camp?
Yes, all of them are camp.
Yeah,
but I think it's more serious.
I love the original. Like, my favorite is kind of like the original Spider-Man trilogy because that is so camp, but also kind of like gritty. Like, it's kind of like a perfect blend of like the camp from the modern Marvel movies mixed with like the grittiness of what we would get in The Dark Knight. I feel like I like a little bit. Like, I like my superhero stories to be grounded in reality, and even if it's like in other earthly world, like Guardians of the Galaxy, I like camp mixed with like groundedness. That it's like this is believable. Versus, I think some of my issues with some of the DC movies was that it just didn't hit, like, or it took itself too seriously, or it's like too wacky and too like unrealistic.
Yeah. One thing I really loved, the fight scenes.
Oh, the choreography was so good.
The fight scenes were amazing. Deadpool versus Wolverine, both times were really good. Also, I feel like there were some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in the MCU.
Some great needle drops.
Yes. And then one more thing about the fight scenes, I felt like they were really good and kind of felt like something I would see in a comic book.
Yeah.
The way that they would shoot it, like the long shot of everybody.
I think Sean Levy's a great director. Have you seen Free Guy?
Free Guy?
Free Guy?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of great needle drops, Fantasy by Mariah Carey. Like, so good.
Oh.
I love a good needle drop. Honestly, The Fall Guy did great with it. Like, if you can utilize music well, like, should I remain in the industry, I think music producer for a movie would be something really fun, because I love music, and like we were saying in the pre-show, like Glee was an education for music for me.
Yeah.
Like, even like now I know a lot of these artists that I wouldn't have known because of Glee. Glee introduced me. American Idol, The Voice, all these shows introduced me to good music, and now I feel like when I see music and like utilized fun in fun ways, like You're the One That I Want being the backdrop to the car fight, phenomenal.
Yes, my only thing with those is like sometimes I feel in Marvel, I feel like it's like you don't have to pick the same 5 songs all the time. Like, we can switch. There's so much great song, even if we want to stick with the 80s. Yeah. There's so many great songs. We don't have to pick the same Guns N' Roses song every time.
Valid. I do like the Like a Prayer and the version that they had in that one at the end.
Yes, I thought it was great.
And especially with the like, that's why I think it was cheapened a little bit when they come back to life. Also, Wunmi Masaka, who I think that's her name, from Loki. I love her. And then when she was like, "Yeah, Peter Poole, like, I like your body," I was like, again, body positivity for the big boys.
Yes.
All right, Quandel, we are running low on time. Yeah? Do we have any last minute topics that you need to say from the last 2 months?
Boy.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go watch Housewives of Miami.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna tell you. Let's start you off. You haven't seen Big Brother 3? No, catch up on this season. That's what we'll do.
Can you send me I want to watch a Canada one.
Big Brother Canada 5. Let's go. But also the Ica clip. And I will give you context quickly. Ica and Netta go into Big Brother Canada 5 as really good friends.
Okay.
So that's important to know. Big Brother Canada 5. You love older house guests. You're going to love Karen. Her name is Karen, and she's a Karen. You're going to love Glitter Gary. You're going to love Ica. You're going to love Dimitris. You're going to love Dre. Oh, my God. I'm so excited for you. Kevin Martin's great character. Bruno. Like, oh, my God. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Cindy, Netta. Oh, my God. Big Brother Canada 5 was lit. Cassandra. So many good. So I'm going to get you the Big Brother Canada links. You're going to watch Big Brother Canada 5. And you're going to catch up with the season. I'm going to watch Miami. How many episodes in a season of Housewives?
It depends. Sometimes it's like 15.
Okay. So we'll try to like... I'll give you like, I think we'll try to coordinate it so we can like be around the same place.
Let's start the first episode.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's our homework. Yeah. The first episode of each show, and we'll try to get another episode of this sooner than later, just because we did take a long hiatus. Yeah. But, anyways, what do you want to plug? Where can people keep up with you?
I will. I don't know if I want to plug anything just yet, but I'm working on that with my therapist. So maybe next time we'll have something.
Do you still want people to follow your drag Insta or no? Or next time?
Next time.
Okay. What Quandel's going to plug is the Brazilian Dragon Productions Patreon. And you can learn about all the tiers. Also, we're going to, we got this cool swag from Dustin, our great host, and his lovely partner. Yes. So we're going to plug this, Sauna Sessions with Prince EA. So we're going to plug that.
Like a good sauna session?
Yes. In terms of the Brazilian Dragon Productions, go check out my podcast with Nicole Horn, my good friend. Yes. We talk about all the media that made her.
We're going to have to do something, all three of us.
Me and Nicole and you. We also got to get Tangela on the podcast. Quay, of course. Quay Tan. Just go follow the Brazilian Dragon on all social media, Brazil Dragon Pod or Brazilian Dragon. I forget what I'm on which thing. But Brazilian Dragon should be on Instagram for sure. You can see all the episodes we're doing. Going to get back into the Scooby Gang with the aforementioned Lindsay. A couple of things planned. I also want to do something fun for Halloween. I'm already in pre-production for the Halloween season. We got to get you roped into something for that. But go subscribe to the Brazilian Dragon YouTube. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Go subscribe on Spotify. Tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yes. Repost, retweet, all that jazz. Yes. And leave us an Apple review. That does help people find the podcast for both Cultural FAQs and Brazilian Dragon podcast. In terms of me, you can follow my main at What the Fleep.
Yes.
And Quandel, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Canada.
Yes, and how about for the hashtag, if you've made it to the end of this episode, you go let us know, tweet at me, and say hashtag Quandelpool.
Quandelpool?
Because he's Peter Pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you again to Dustin, our incredible host, and thank you all for checking us out here on the Brazilian Dragon Podcast Productions. Until next time, everyone, obrigadero for listening. Bye.
Bye.